Hardly 24 hours after premiering its fourth episode on Paramount Plus, Taylor Sheridan's latest series has just made a major streaming move. After weeks of competing with Lioness and Tulsa King for the top spot, Landman has finally jumped over the other Sheridan originals to become the #1 series on Paramount Plus. This comes not long after Landman began slipping in the rankings last week, falling as far as number 6. Instead of slipping out of the top 10, however, Landman turned things around to claim the top spot. The series currently sits at a 78% critics score and a 66% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, having already fallen from its premiere score after debuting on the aggregate site with a higher rating than Yellowstone, the Kevin Costner-led series that Sheridan is known for. Landman follows Tommy Norris, Billy Bob Thornton, an oil man working in the West Texas fields dealing with all manner of problems, from drug cartels to employee deaths, and everything in between. Tommy is flanked by Angela Norris, Ollie Larder, his ex-wife who moves back in with him as they vow to work on their relationship. John Hamm also stars in Landman as Monty Morris, head of the oil company that Norris works for and the one calling the shots. Jacob Laughlin and Michelle Randolph portray Cooper and Ainsley Morris, Tommy and Angela's children who, like typical teenagers, despise each other. Kayla Wallace, James Jordan, Paula Chavez, and Mark Colley round out the cast of Landman. If you're caught up on Landman and are familiar with other Sheridan shows in the top 10, like Lioness and Tulsa King, you can also check out Tracker, the procedural series starring Justin Hartley that's been in the Paramount Plus top 10 lately. The Agency, a spy thriller starring Michael Fassbender and Jeffrey Wright, has also been one of the more popular shows on Paramount Plus. As for movies, 2024 films such as Smile 2 and Transformers 1 are both streaming on Paramount Plus and are in the top 10, as well as Tropic Thunder, the comedy starring Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. The first 4 episodes of Landman are now streaming on Paramount Plus, with subsequent episodes dropping every Sunday. Stay tuned to Collider for future updates and coverage. KHYMM warns the children that Crimson Jack is a scoundrel, and Jod quickly tries to save face by reminding the children that he warned them about KHYMM. They scuffle and KHYMM winds up caught under a pile of books and maps as Jod leads the children out of the observatory. KB lingers behind to make sure KHYMM is all right, fueled by her own mistrust of Jod, and KHYMM cautions her to trust her head and not her gut when it comes to Jod, vowing to always be of help if the children need her. When they get back to the ship, Fern decides she's also had enough of Jod and his lies and half-truths, and she bars him from boarding the ship until he tells them who he really is. He tries to evade her demands, but SM-33 is more than willing to enforce his captain's orders. Jod admits that he never said he was a Jedi, he simply didn't correct Vim when he made the claim. Jod tries to reason with the children, going so far as to compare them as lost people, while promising to help get them home, especially if there's a reward involved. KB tells Jod that he works for them, not the other way around, and Jod reluctantly agrees to their rules. The episode ends with Jod and the Core 4 having to evade the pair of X-Wing fighters that KHYMM hailed when Crimson Jack showed up with the children. The sequence is a bit like a dramatization of how it feels to get paired with children on Smuggler's Run at Disney, particularly when it comes to having pint-sized gunners getting you out of a tight squeeze. Despite the odds, Jod manages to get them off the planet before they can be caught, with no real hint of what's to come in Episode 4. Next week, Watts and Ford return to pen an episode directed by the Academy Award-winning directing duo Daniel Kwan and Daniel Skynyrd, which is sure to be a delight, given their whimsical storytelling stylings. It will be interesting to see if the Captain Hook and the Lost Boys vibe persists throughout the series once Lowery isn't behind the camera, but the dynamic works well for Skeleton Crew. The series has really set itself apart from the rest of the Star Wars fare by toying with a more Amblin style, harkening back to the Spielbergian era of the late 80s and early 90s, which perfectly blends with Star Wars' campier aesthetics. With 3 episodes under its belt, Skeleton Crew has crafted a very curious mystery to solve where Aten and Jod are concerned. Hopefully, the creative team has given themselves enough time with the remaining episodes to answer both, while still exploring the larger galaxy around the characters. The first 3 episodes of Star Wars: Skeleton Crew are streaming now on Disney+. New episodes drop at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday.